So tell me all about this. What was your inspiration for tonight?
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I'll see you in there.
Wow.
Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. I know you guys love when I do quote-unquote men's content where I make fun of the females and all the women that are doing crazy things, but I have to do these other topics as well to try to keep you guys informed of what's going on. And because if we get into conflict, if we get into trouble, both either financially or on the world market, that's going to affect everybody a lot more than some bad dating experiences. So please try to bear with me while I do these other topics. I'm going to be recording this all as one video, but for YouTube and Rumble, I'll chop it up into two. I've got some connectors here. I've got to run out and put my IBC containers for the water collection I'm doing out at my little farm there. I'm going to be doing that on my second channel, all my farm stuff. Right now, it's named Better Bachelor B-Sides or Bachelor B-Sides. I forget which it is. I don't do anything over there. I've just kind of kept it on a back burner. Follow me over there. The name may change. It may change to, like, I don't know, Bachelor Farms or something fun. And I'm going to do everything I've done to I'm collecting videos and things, and I'll be putting them all together and put a bunch all at once up on the channel. And I'll let you guys know. So if you want to keep up on how I'm going from like raw land forest area to a farm, from nothing to something, that'll all be over there. So meet the new Navy, and we're going to lose a war, boys. Yes, I say that because this is the new Army's recruiting representative to reach out and find a more diverse naval officer. Here's the thing. This is not being focused on being tough, being strong, being dedicated, being stoic, being representative of our country. Well, maybe it is a representative of our country now. This is not going to help you win in a battle. You're not going to scream Maybelline as you wipe on your mascara and run over the front lines. Now, I know this is Navy and they don't do things over the front lines, but when this is the focus and not combat effectiveness or efficiency, I mean, we've had problems with maintenance. There was a ship that caught fire and they found out somebody on the ship started the fire and he got no charges, or she got no charges. I don't even remember what it was. This is where we're going. We will lose, and again, it'll all go away, and then the priority will change after it's too late. So this is from the Washington Examiner. Navy seeks to attract diverse talent amid recruitment crisis with a drag queen influencer. In an effort to increase recruitment, the Navy has invited a queen to do an active duty sailor, or who is an active duty sailor, to join its pilot digital ambassador program. As America's military faces a historic recruiting crisis, gee, I wonder why, the new tactic is intended to broaden the Navy's reach of potential recruits through digital and social media platforms, according to a report. Yeoman Second Class Joshua Kelly, whose stage name is Harpy Daniels, made an announcement about becoming one of the first Navy digital ambassadors. And I have some posts on Instagram I'll show you. Through social media posts, Kelly highlighted the journey, performing on board beginning in 2018 and growing to become an advocate for those who were oppressed for years in the service. Now, let me say this. I'll say this much, okay? All these people are over 18. They are, I'm sure they don't, at least I'm hoping, going to these types of shows is not mandatory, but the military can do some weird things. And, you know, they don't have to go to the shows if they don't want to. So I actually don't have a problem with doing the shows on the boat. Believe it or not, I don't. The thing is, though, back when I was in the military, it would have been kind of a goof. If you've ever seen the movie Under Siege with, I forget the whole cast and crew on that. But anyway, they did a little bit of a show that's very similar to this. And it was done in lark, in jest, as fun. So, you know, if they look at it as the same way, I'm fine with that. The problem is when you're now using that as a recruitment tool and you're looking for people that maybe aren't necessarily the toughest, the strongest, the people that want to defend the country. Maybe they do, I don't know. But I can't see these people being able to to be able to handle the stresses of combat and everything else when they're very much feminine, they're very much emotional, and their priorities are in the wrong places when it comes to conflict. That's my opinion. Maybe many will disagree, but I as I've said many times, when the ammo gets whizzing by your ears, there is no safe spaces. The enemy's not going to respect your pronouns. They're going to drive a bullet through your center. The experience has brought me so much strength, courage, and ambition to continue being an advocate and representative of sailors. Our Navy is committed to enabling a workforce demographic similar to that of the nation it serves. Well, there you go. So they want a workforce that's demographic similar to that of the nation it serves. So this is the person they put out there for recruitment. The Navy's latest diversity, equity, and inclusion policy update reads, with nearly 50% of recruitable talent coming from diverse talent, the Navy must be deliberate to create a culture where every person, regardless of the background, has the opportunity to succeed. So they're saying now 50% of the recruitment talent coming from this type of talent. I don't think that's going to bode well when it comes to conflict. That's my personal take on that. The Navy reportedly said it did not compensate Kelly. Well, I'm sure that Navy didn't, but maybe the federal government did, not directly through Navy. A recent poll conducted by the Heritage Foundation found that 65% of active duty personnel were concerned about growing politicization in the military. I'm sure that they are, but what does that mean, that they agree with what's going on or they disagree with what's going on? Vice Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Lisa Fanchetti recently submitted written testimony to the House Armed Services Committee, noting fiscal year recruitment for 2023 was projected to miss its goal for enlisted sailors by 8,000 recruits, which is not much. They say, they talk a little bit more about recruiting. The study found a National Independent Panel on Military Service and Readiness report released in March by the Heritage Foundation suggested poor recruiting success was, at least in part, a result of social policies that have been imposed on the military. You mean like these? The study found that diversity, equity, inclusive initiatives have risked supplanting the U.S. military's culture of warfighting with a new culture of DEI promotion and compliance. And there it is. They're not focusing on battle. They're focusing on this kind of stuff. And here's Harpy. Now, I ask you guys this. Please do not go and say anything disparaging to this person directly. Okay? This is what the military wants. This is what the military wants to promote. It is not the fault of Harpy Daniels, this individual. It is the fault of the military. So I put the blame on them. And you know, when I was in the service, I need to mute this. Yeah, okay, it's muted. When I was in the service, a guy like this would have been considered very out of shape. We had to run miles and miles. I think when we started basic training, our starting miles were 1.5 miles. If you couldn't do that, you were put on special diet and you were put in I guess you'd call it almost a fat camp. If you couldn't do 1.5 miles at 18 in, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it was not that hard. Guys like this couldn't do it. You know, you had to be in pretty darn good shape, relatively low body fat. Now, maybe times have changed, but this is not the kind of physical, this is not what you're concerned about when you're going off to battle. I mean, you need to be concerned with your fighting capability, not how pretty you look and how well your eyebrows are done and, how you do your makeup. I just, where are we going? I try to be a person that lets everybody live the life they want to live. But you know something? That's a problem. Because now it's no longer about each individual wanting to live their lives as they want to behind closed doors. Now it's that they want to tell you how to treat them and talk to them in public. And they want to be able to teach kids this stuff. and they want to enter the military and be part of the fighting forces while worried about this stuff. You know, if I went to a lawyer that was more concerned about how he looked in a mirror or if his makeup on was put on straight, whether man or woman, I don't want that person representing me. If I go into a doctor and he's worried that he might break a nail doing surgery, that's not who I want doing my surgery. We are in for some very troubled times. And here's the truth of it. We're not combat ready. They have dropped off the recruiting requirements for intelligence, for schooling, for reading comprehension, for math. I've done videos where I've shown you guys how, these guys can't even jump over a wall that's barely up to their armpits. They can't even jump over a wall one time. I just do not see how this bodes well. I just do not see how this ends well. Because we have to be honest with ourselves. Either at this point, we're no longer a serious fighting force, or we think we are. We get into a conflict, and we get absolutely devastated. That's the reality of this now. So I say this to you guys out there, that if you don't actively push back against this craziness in every way, shape, and form that you can, if we get into a conflict, you may get drafted. You may be going to war, and this will be the person watching your back. And it's not that maybe they want you to get hurt or anything like that. It's the fact that they're more concerned about how their lipstick looks and everything else versus actually being combat ready, actually know what they're doing, actually paying attention. You know, when I went to school for this stuff, it was a lot of logistics, reading maps, being on the range, making sure you could put in something 300 to 500 yards down target and be able to hit something, a target that was kind of small. What are we focused on now? Everything but. And if you get drafted and you get put in amongst this, I hope you're going to be like me. At my age, maybe I'm safe. I'm going to be a conscientious objector. They can throw me in jail. I'm not going to put my life on the line for this stuff. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think below. I'm really curious to hear. Again, I'm going to chop it right here for those of you on YouTube and Rumble, and I'll put up the second half in a second video where IBM is replacing 7,800 workers with AI. I told you it wouldn't take long.